Hi, welcome to Miss Music, or welcome back to Miss Music. Now, it has been a little while since David Byrne released an album, but he is back with Who is the Sky? It's his first solo album, I think, since 2018's wildly successful American Utopia. Byrne's new album enlists the help of the New York-based avant-garde chamber ensemble Ghost Train Orchestra. He also brought in a producer called Kid Harpoon, who you may know from his Grammy-winning work with Harry Styles. I'd never heard of this producer. So the big question is, does this ambitious pivot actually pay off? While Who is the Sky has some of Byrne's most gorgeous and ambitious arrangements ever, the album doesn't always manage, I think, to connect the orchestra's grandeur with his kind of quirky rhythmic fun that makes his music so special. It's a joyful and admirable record for sure, but it ultimately feels a bit uneven, more like a fascinating experiment than a fully cohesive masterpiece. Overall, the album sounds great. You have Byrne's distinctive voice, his unique way of phrasing melodies, and all this is set to a very rhythmic and warm orchestration. It's a pleasure to listen to, especially when you're listening to it with headphones, where you can kind of tick through the many different sounds and varied instruments that are on this album. The album kicks off with the track Everybody Laughs. And this is a blast of pure positive energy that sounds like it could have been a Talking Heads track. That bouncy, rhythmic and optimistic feel just pulls you right in. And then there's the bonus of having Annie Clark singing backing vocals on this track. I really loved the album that they created together, Love This Giant. So check that one out if you don't know it. It's really good. Lyrically, the themes and messages of the album did very little for me. Byrne can be very obscure, and he has a unique and intriguing way of viewing life. He sees things in a very unique way, but on this album I felt a lot of the tracks were a little throwaway and really not songs I will be coming back to very much. They tend to lack a heft, I think. There's a track, My Apartment Is My Friend, which turns the whole kind of pandemic lockdown experience into a quirky celebration of being stuck at home. And it's almost like a show tune, I think. I found this track a little lackluster, and I yearned for something more substantial. This is the man who wrote Road to Nowhere and Psycho Killer. I think without the orchestration, many of these songs would feel quite flat and one-dimensional. The main event here, I think, is without doubt that orchestra. So Byrne has teamed up with the 15-piece Ghost Train Orchestra, and their sound is incredibly rich and layered. It's this beautiful chaos of strings and horns and percussion built around Byrne's pop rock demos. Kid Harpoon's production does a nice job of keeping everything from getting too out there, so the album is, I guess, pretty accessible. But maybe it needs to be out there. It needs to be a bit unaccessible, and that's what's missing. I mean, at this stage of Byrne's career, does he really need to be accessible? I really like the track The Avant-Garde, which has a kind of off-kilter rhythm, making it quite hard to listen to, before resolving into an uplifting chorus, reminiscent, again, of the Talking Heads. It's one of the few songs on the album I'd put on a playlist and listen to repeatedly. I really like that song. One of the most striking songs for me is She Explained Things to Me, which seems to be an unusual personal song about Byrne's autism and the need for someone, his wife, to explain the intentions of others and the hidden subtext of social interaction and poetry and just movies. Overall, Who is the Sky is, I think, a flawed but nevertheless a fascinating experiment. It's proof that Byrne is still relentlessly creative and refuses just to settle down, even after such a long and successful career. The album is full of joy, it's full of humour, and it has genuinely beautiful moments, but its lack of consistent focus keeps it from being a true classic. It's an album that's really easy to admire for its ambition, but it is a little harder to unconditionally love. So, out of 10, what would I give this album? I think it's a 6, and that's maybe a bit harsh, but I think it's a 6. But hey, that's just my take. What did you think of the album? Drop your score in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more reviews. And genuinely, thanks for watching.